Did you know that we've had over 100 guests on the Hello 7 podcast? Now that is bananas. And every now and then, when we're right in the thick of a conversation, somebody will say something that is the biggest mic drop, the biggest business breakthrough, or the biggest life lesson. We've shared so many episodes of this podcast, and you might not know where to start. So today, I'm making things very easy for you and rounding up some of my favorite moments. So settle down, get that notebook ready, because we're going to be delivering takeaway after takeaway. Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rodgers. Why do things need to change?
Okay, so here's the tea. I woke up 45, $3 in the bank account, even though I'm still at the 100K. But 100K when I was traveling as a burlesque headliner.
Yes.
And 100K living in New York City, paying for a team, paying for ads, giving people VIP treatments they didn't pay for, said, bitch, here's your $3. Because we want you to learn a lesson.
Correct.
Fast.
Yes.
45.
Yes.
So that is why I'm here, because I have a scaling issue.
Yes.
You know, so it's the 100K 3 years in a row because of Hello 7. Okay, y'all better get in this club. Okay, but you have to make sure you're not hard-headed. So I also, a hard head make a soft ass. I also did take 2.5 years to hire. Okay, so that was part of the issue. And I wasn't honoring my boundaries right away when I did hire because of the whole like Mama Pearl and put on my cape today. You know, like, let's do that. So the money just kind of was like, and then I did kind of give away 20 scholarships to students.
20 scholarships. Okay. So you're being generous with everybody except yourself, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. So let's, first of all, step one, let's stop doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Bless my heart.
Yes. Listen,
Bless my heart.
But this is so real, right? This is it's a common issue where we get a little something for ourselves and then we start sharing and we're not even ready to share. We don't have enough to share. We have enough for ourselves.
Yes.
And then we start sharing and start being generous in ways that we cannot really afford to be generous. Yeah. And the thing is, what we do is we cut off our journey, right? We cut off our success and we slow down our success by becoming the benefactor before we have the money to be the benefactor, right? And it's like, that is coming. And the fact that that's on your heart to do is beautiful, right? And I'm sure you give in so many ways. Even if you never gave those scholarships, you still are giving too much.
I am.
You know what I mean?
I know I am.
Correct. I know you are too.
I know I am.
So being extremely generous, and it's like, yes, we should be generous, but we can't give it all away because we need those resources to be able to get to the next level, right? Like when you invest in you, what happens? You made 6 figures, right? So if you invest some more in you, you're gonna make 7 figures. And now when you get to 7 figures, now you got a well to draw from. Now you could be like, scholarships, no problem, let everybody win, right? Like we are able to be generous at Hello 7 in a way that we never could in the past. And if I would have tried to do that early on, which I did have moments where I did try it, you know, not to the tune of 20 scholarships, but I had my moments, you know? And the thing is that it slows you down, right?
Yes.
Like you need those resources to take care of you and to take care of business so that you can scale. If you try to take care of other people before you are at that level, you are actually just cutting off your success and all of those people who would have benefited. What would you like to include in this community? What could you do in this membership offer that you would want to do? That's not too taxing also.
I think it would be amazing to have some sort of peer-to-peer coaching or peer-to-peer. The women in our community just know so much.
Yes.
Somebody knows everything.
Yes.
So it would be nice to include some way for anyone in there to share information with the other women. They've been doing it a little bit on Facebook, but Facebook is hard to get attention, right?
Yes.
So it would be nice to include some sort of peer-to-peer. We do have a nice friend group. I think we're part of a larger movement. We are part of a larger movement.
Yes.
And we have a nice friend group of women who would want to come in and do one-off coaching.
Yes.
So it would be nice to do something like that every month or every quarter. And then the women inside of our community do love us dearly. And so it would be really nice for us to be able to break down the barrier instead of talking to them through YouTube.
Right.
To be able to talk with them a little bit more personally.
Yes.
So
I love
think
it.
some veil lifting would also be nice to include inside of the membership. And then, of course, accountability groups.
Yes.
Accountability partnerships where they get together on a schedule and report back instead of hiding and saying, oops, I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. And so let me fade out. Let me disappear from the community. And maybe I'll come back for the next summit, someplace where they can
just be sharing what they're struggling with and what's stopping them.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Listen up. If you're tired of setting the same income goals year after year and still coming up short, it's time to change the game. You know you're meant for more, but right now, your business isn't moving like it should. You've got the talent, the skills, the ambition, but your bank account isn't reflecting that. That's where the Make Money Moves Challenge comes in. For 5 days, I'm giving you the exact strategies, mindset shifts, and money-making moves that have helped me and thousands of other entrepreneurs break out of the feast or famine cycle and start stacking real wealth. No more scrambling to hit your revenue goals, and no more waiting for the perfect time to go all in. You're getting daily action steps that will have you making more money immediately. This isn't a fluffy feel-good challenge. This is about building a business that actually pays you what you deserve. So are you in? If so, join me for our next challenge. Go to hello7.co/challenge to sign up now.
I love that. And I think the key is structure. So what I would do is I would just say, like, we're going to start this. It's going to be a beta for the first 90 days.
Okay.
We're going to invite you to be a part of it. We're going to do these specific things. So make some decisions about how you're going to serve. And then say, at the end of 90 days, we're going to survey everybody, find out what you loved, what you didn't love. And then we'll make tweaks as we go.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And I think you should launch this like tomorrow.
Okay.
Or as soon as possible. Can you do it today? How about today?
We do have a history of moving pretty quickly.
Yes, because you had 1,600 people that you just served the hell out of.
Yeah.
And you didn't sell them anything.
That's right.
That is bananas, y'all. Okay? If you ever find yourself in front of a large group of people that you've just added an immense amount of value to, you need to ask for the sale. Okay? Never, ever skip asking for the sale. Okay?
The patriarchy was affecting me. I was staying stuck. I was staying small. Guys, I am not meant to stay small, and neither are you. Okay? And so I joined, and I remember, I'm going to be very emotional because it's very emotional to me. In June, we meet up, a couple times a year, and I looked at the room and I said, in a few weeks, I'm going to be coming out online. Yeah. That's my goal. That's my goal for Q3. And I said my financials. And I said, I think it's going to be good. But what I wasn't saying was, I'm scared. And I had used the excuse that I'm private. Yes. But actually, when I dug down deeper, I was scared. Yes. And when I work with my clients, we have to really work on, well, what are you scared of? Yep. Because it's fear that keeps us stuck.
That's right.
Right? And
whatever it is that you're afraid of is keeping you small and it's stopping you from making different moves.
And being in alignment.
Yes.
I wanted to live out loud. I wanted to step forward into my power. I wanted to stay there, and I wanted to steward it well. Yes. Okay? And I remember looking at you. I made eye contact with you because you're my safe person, right? And you said, without skipping a beat, you interrupted me. It was great. I love when you said, I believe your business is going to grow. Yes. And everyone around the table was like, yes. And in that moment, I needed someone to remind me of what is true. Yes. Someone who's been there. Our lived experiences are different, right? However, you get it. Yes. You get it deeply. And so I remember I had like a breakdown. I've never told this story out loud. Only my few close friends who were over at my house that night knew. I was having a breakdown in my bathroom. Total panic attack.
Why do we choose the bathroom?
It is the smallest space with the nastiest floor. Yes. I don't know, Rachel. It's a good question. It's the $1 million question.
We can have breakdowns in bed. Why do we go to the bathroom floor? We deserve better spaces for breakdowns.
We do. We really do. My partner, Allison, she was there. My friend Susie she's a DEI consultant, also gay. She comes in and she's sitting with me and she was like, let's talk through what is true. And personally, I wasn't that scared. I was scared for my business, which employs, 22 women. And I was scared of the people behind our products, and the impact to them. For many of them were their biggest buyer, and just the chain effects downstream. And that would be my fault.
Isn't that so interesting? Let's break that down, right?
Oh boy, because we're going there. Okay.
Your store is in the South, right?
Yes, in a conservative state.
Yes, in a conservative state. And you were previously married, right?
To a man.
To a man. And so that's what people know of you, right? And you've built the store over many years with that sort of identity.
Yes.
And now that's shifting. So I just want to frame for people why this is it feels scary, because it's like people have built a community and a relationship with you, and you're like, well, have you built a relationship with the real me? Like, will you accept all of me or only this version?
Will you accept all of me? That's it.
Yes.
And that truly was $1 million question that I didn't know the answer to. So in those moments.
Wait. And I just want to break down the other piece of this, like you said, right? There are all of these different brands all over the world that that your store is having a major impact on certain communities.
Yes.
Where this is the main place or maybe the biggest place that their products are sold.
Yes.
So if the people stop coming in because of their, biases, then your folks.
There's impact elsewhere.
Yes.
To a lot of people, right?
Yes.
But
I still F those people, okay?
Yes.
Still F them, but okay, keep going.
Yes.
Not the people, obviously, not
Let's
the retail,
just be clear,
not the
F
brands.
them. Yes, let's be clear.
But I mean the clients who decide that they don't want to shop there anymore because they find out that you're gay. Like, no.
Right.
Goodbye.
Right. And I think everyone goes through a point in their business where we start in one way, but we keep stepping forward.
Yes.
Into who we are, into a fuller identity, right? So I feel like everyone can resonate with that.
Yes.
And I feel like in that moment, when I was on the bathroom floor, crying, snot everywhere. You guys, if you've been there, but my friend Susie looked at me and she goes, let's focus on what is true.
Yes.
And I looked at her and I said, Rachel said that she thinks my business will grow.
We've officially rescheduled ROI The Millionaire Summit 2025. Join me, Hello 7, and hundreds of your newest business besties in Huntington Beach, California from June 17th through the 19th for 3 days of high-impact, high-caliber fun. Let me tell you why ROI The Millionaire Summit is happening at the perfect time. June is the ultimate mid-year reset. It's your chance to pause, reflect, and redirect your energy for the months ahead. By the time the summer rolls around, you've had 6 months of wins, lessons, and challenges. That makes June the moment to evaluate what's working and ditch what's not, and pivot for even bigger success in the second half of the year. I'm so excited to invite you to ROI 2025 this summer to reconnect with your vision and take $1 million action with me. Come to dream bigger, move boldly, and reconnect with your purpose. So if you're ready to realign with your vision, sharpen your strategy, and set yourself up for massive wins, ROI is where you need to be. Head to hello7.co/ROI to grab your ticket.
And my shoulders lowered. And I also knew that I had a commitment from my mastermind members that they would be all up in the Instagram flagging crap and celebrating with me, right?
Yes.
So there was truth, there was protection.
Yes.
Right? And then there was the celebration.
Yes.
And I feel like that is the women leaders I look at, that is what they need, right, in their lives. And that is what I got in that moment from my mastermind. I press post. You bet Yadira was up in there. Chelsea was up in there. Someone was messaging me. I'm in the comments section. I'm looking out. 3 of my friends were. And that's what we need. We need that favorable environment.
Yeah. Speaking of creative work, so how did you land on this idea?
Yeah, so so one thing that you'll learn about me is I'm an impulse doer.
Oh, no wonder we're
Impulse.
same.
Everything for me is impulse. I'm talking about. Look how we got here today. It's just like it just happened, right?
Yes.
I bought my house on impulse. I bought a dog on impulse. I moved to Atlanta on impulse. So this is the same thing.
First of all, okay, I want to reframe that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impulse. I think you're following your gut and you make quick decisions.
That is exactly it.
And
I agree.
And I think making quick decisions is the mark of a powerful CEO, right? I think a lot of people think about it forever, hem and haw for months, and it's like the opportunities are passing you by, while you thinking about it. Or, we so worried about, well, it's going to cost me X. Okay, but what is it costing you to not make that move?
Exactly.
How much are you losing
Exactly.
by playing it safe all the time?
Me and my mom have these conversations. And
Yes.
I'm like, you're trying to show up perfect instead of being present.
Yes.
Why are you trying to be so perfect? Just be present, and then everything will work itself out in the present.
Yes.
So,
Exactly. And just trust that you can handle whatever gets thrown at you. Like, you got this.
look, we have 100% success rate in life so far.
Right.
Every day we've made it. Even the days we thought we weren't, we made it. So
yes.
I just feel like everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out.
Yep. And you know what? There are studies, scientific studies that show when you think like that, you actually make it so, right?
Oh, cool.
Right. So if you are constantly thinking it's not going to work out, it's going to be a failure, this is going to be a mess, it's going to be a hot mess, oh, it's a disaster, right? When we use language like that all the time, we actually manifest that in our lives.
We do.
So it's like if your thoughts are that powerful, change the thoughts.
Exactly.
Start with that, right? Start thinking positively.
Easy steps.
Yes, and just tell yourself, you know what? Even if you're like, I have no clue how I'm gonna make this work, but I got this. Just keep lying to yourself.
That's true.
I think you had been unknowingly building your pipeline for 2 years, if not way longer than that, because Caitlin, in every business that she worked for previously, she was a natural entrepreneur. So she was always trying to grow and build that business.
Yes.
So she had just moved to Boise, just moved back to Boise within a couple of years there, and had this goal to take one woman out to lunch every week, or one leader out to lunch every week. And she had been doing that for 2 years before she decided to start full swing.
I just wanted to have friends.
Right.
It's like I've been gone for 11 years.
She didn't know. She wasn't doing it because she thought she was going to start a business. She was doing it because she wanted to be connected, be in the community, cared, wanted to be around people who were doing cool things. And because you were just passionate about that, and me looking at you doing that, I was like, look at this girl. And then everyone was surprised that she did that in 3 days, and I wasn't, because she had been building that pipeline. She just didn't realize that she was.
Well, and I had a lot of great friends, and I do believe in paying it forward, and I think I've done a lot of favors for people in my life.
Yes.
And I called in all my favors. You know, somebody built my website, somebody took my photos, they were gorgeous. Yeah. Like, I could write my copy for my website because I'm a writer on some level.
Yes.
And so it just kind of all worked out. And then Holly was like wonderful to me and would look at everything, even though she was not then my business partner. Yeah. And tell me if, my logo looked like crap or whatever.
I love that. So. And first of all, I love the strategy of taking somebody out to lunch once a week, right? To build your network, to build your community. And everything doesn't have to have a direct and immediate ROI, right? Like, the ROI can be something that grows over time. I think sometimes I think it's important to measure, right? To measure the things that you're doing to know whether they're working or not in a business. But I also think it's valuable to do things because you have an inkling that they're going to lead somewhere. It's okay to go down those paths sometimes. Yeah. It doesn't have to always be so obvious. I think because when we are trying to get to a result too quick, right, it feels very wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right? And then people feel used, right? But when you say, let's just go to lunch because I need friends. Yeah. Maybe there's something we could do together in the future. Who knows? But let's just support each other. Yeah. I think there are a lot of lonely people out there who want more friends.
Well, and I think too, when you have a small child like that and you're in a place like Boise, Idaho, where there are plenty of folks who have a stay-at-home wife, which I did not have. Yes. Like all of the other women that either had kids and have PTSD from the experience they had in the workplace of trying to find childcare or deal with those children as they were building their career. There were tons of people who wanted to have that conversation, and tell me what they learned from, going through what I was going through.
Yes, exactly. And just being intentional and taking action, right? We sometimes say, well, I'm lonely, or I don't have friends, or not enough people know me, or my network isn't very strong. Well, okay, what are you going to do about that?
Yeah,
right?
Go build it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and it's also, I encourage people to look at what works for them, because me taking someone out to lunch every week would not work for me. Yes. But before I had a business, I was taking courses about entrepreneurship. I was taking Facebook ads courses. And listening to all the podcasts, even though I didn't know that I was going to start a business, but that's what I cared about, and I was building my skills. I would be exhausted taking someone to lunch every week. But so it's interesting, what is it what worked for Caitlin might not work for you, but what will work for you if you're
Yes.
stuck in a space and you want something more, there are little things that you can be doing every week.
Yeah, and like, what's your version of that? Right?
Yeah.
To build your community and just get
money?
yourself out
You
there.
are in the right place. Welcome to the Hello 7 podcast. That's 7 as in 7 figures. I'm your host, Rachel Rodgers.